WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Breaking news tonight, CBS affiliate WREG out of Memphis reports 2 people are dead and another is critically injured after a single car crash in DeSoto County just hours ago. According to the DeSoto County Sheriff's Department, 3 Mississippi State students were in the car when it crashed on Getwell Road near Grays Creek. 1 person was airlifted to the Regional Medical Center in critical condition, and the other 2 died at the scene. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, and the names of the students have not been released. Developing tonight, a man is dead after a shooting early this morning. The incident took place at the Holiday Inn Express in Columbus. Coroner Greg Merchant says the confrontation happened around 4 o'clock and the shooting occurred outside of the hotel in the parking lot. Sources tell WCBI that a man was allegedly pulling on car doors to see if they were unlocked. Witnesses say he pulled on the handle of a car that another person was sitting inside of. And that person allegedly shot Otis Lee Latham, who died. This is an active investigation. We're working to bring you more information as soon as we get it. An inmate serving 10 years at the South Mississippi Correctional Institution for a robbery attempt is dead. The Mississippi Department of Corrections says 50-year-old William Sharp was found unresponsive in his cell Saturday at the Greene County Prison. According to the county coroner, there were no signs of foul play. An autopsy will determine the official cause and manner of death. Sharp was convicted and sentenced September 25th of 2018 in Grenada County. The man who died in a Lowndes County workplace accident Friday has been identified. Coroner Greg Merchant says Vernon resident Mitchell L. Welch was pronounced dead on the scene. The incident happened around 2 o'clock at the TNT truck repair just off of Highway 45 North. Merchant says Welch was under a truck when the jack broke and crushed him. He was apparently working on a large propane truck. Protesters are out again today in cities across America, angry over the killing of George Floyd, a black man who died 1 week ago after a Minneapolis police officer pressed his knee into Floyd's neck until he stopped breathing. Michael George is in Minneapolis with the latest.
Police cars were torched on the streets of Philadelphia before the sun went down Sunday. City officials are urging business owners to close up shop and go home as quickly as possible. Protests are underway in the Los Angeles area, Miami, and Washington, D.C. Today marks the 6th day of violence and unrest across the country. Last night in Salt Lake City, a man threatening to shoot protesters with a bow and arrow was tackled and beaten. In New York City, 2 police vehicles drove into a crowd of protesters. In Tallahassee, Florida, a pickup truck drove through protesters, hitting some. In Dallas, a store owner trying to protect his business was viciously attacked.
And we don't get no justice! We don't get no peace!
Protesters were out again early today in Minneapolis, where the unrest began a week ago with the killing of George Floyd. The officer who put his knee on Floyd's neck has been arrested and charged with murder, but 3 other officers involved have not.
If it was anyone else, they would bring him to justice today. If it was anybody else, justice would be delivered.
The site where George Floyd was killed is now a growing memorial where people are leaving flowers in his memory. The tone of the protests here this afternoon have been peaceful and somber. The hope among people is we don't see more violence again tonight. Minnesota's governor called in 4,000 National Guard troops Saturday and plans to call up thousands more. In a string of tweets Sunday, President Trump congratulated the National Guard for shutting down radical left anarchists and said he plans to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization. On CBS's Face the Nation, Atlanta's mayor criticized the president's tactics.
We are beyond a tipping point in this country, and his rhetoric only inflames that, and he should just sometimes stop talking.
Overnight curfews will continue tonight for dozens of cities across the country. Michael George, CBS News, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Protests after the death of George Floyd are also taking place here in Mississippi. One of those this weekend happened in Tupelo. Attendees say there's a larger message at these gatherings. WCBI's Tyler Hall was there and explains.
George Floyd, he died before our eyes.
Across the country, protesters have marched for justice in the death of George Floyd. It was a similar scene in Tupelo's Fair Park this weekend. The group wanted their voices heard and others to realize Floyd's death has a larger meaning for many in today's society. Reverend Jeffrey A. Gladney of Red Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church in Tupelo says there should be no need for these protests in 2020.
These are cries from oppressed people that just want to be heard. We're tired of black boys being pulled over, can't jog, can't eat, can't walk, can't go in gated communities, can't go to Starbucks, can't go anywhere without somebody accosting us.
The protests saw people from different areas of life, white, black, young, and old.
And we should put an end to it.
Bacon Reed wants other races to speak out against injustices.
If you are not black, then your job is to talk and to publicize the issues and to realize that you are really privileged and that you have to use that privilege for good things.
Tyler Hall, WCBI News.
More than 20 people showed up for the protest this evening, or Saturday evening rather.
Temperature's actually pretty close to normal for where we're supposed to be this time of year. Normal temperature 86 degrees. We topped out at 85 today in Columbus. 83 was the high in Tupelo. We hit 81 in Bruce and 85 in Vernon, Alabama as well. Overnight tonight, lows generally going to be in the mid and upper 50s. We'll see a little bit more in the way of cloud cover building in here. I do think most of us will see plenty of starry sky with just a light northerly breeze there overnight tonight. Tomorrow, though, we're going to be a lot warmer than we were today, noticeably warmer. Lower humidity still sticking around, though, just a few high clouds passing by. But over the next few days, here's where we're going to be tracking more humidity, and you're going to notice it. It's going to feel a lot muggier. With that coming warmer temperatures and also the chance for some isolated pop-up showers and storms. I'll tell you exactly when to have the umbrella handy coming up in just a bit. Cash.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, the Mississippi Department of Health reports 272 new cases of COVID-19 with 11 new deaths. There are currently 137 active outbreaks within the state. 405 people are hospitalized with coronavirus, and there have been more than 1,500 total cases in Mississippi since March 11th, with 734 total deaths. And more than 9,400 people are presumed to have recovered from the virus. The coronavirus hotline is the best way to get your questions about COVID-19 answered. You could call 877-978-6453 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. This weekend, McDonald's in Columbus honored their graduating senior employees. The students come from all over the Golden Triangle, not just Columbus, and this is just the latest in many celebrations that have taken place to honor the class of 2020.
We're celebrating our 2020 graduates. They have reached a milestone in their lives, whether graduating from high school or college. We have, for our entire organization, we have about 54 grads. So we're just doing a small reception just to show them some appreciation.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. The love and support from family can make you feel like you can accomplish anything. And that's the case for Charles Spratt, who just began his battle with lung cancer. Our Savannah Gato joins us in the studio with how his family came up with a spirit parade just for him. Savannah, what was the parade like?
Cash, this drive-by parade was fun and filled with joy. Everyone decorated their cars with signs and balloons to show Charles they're cheering him on, but from a distance. Family and close friends of Charles Spratt took to the streets Sunday afternoon to give love and encouragement. After finding out about his cancer diagnosis, Spratt's niece and daughter decided to do something a little special for him.
It was at the last minute, like a week ago, my cousin texted me and said, let's do a parade. I said, okay. So I got in contact with his friends, and then my cousin got in contact with family, the other side of the family, and we put it all together.
His daughter Tabitha helped me, and we just got it together. All the friends and family just came together to we wanted to show him how much we loved him and cared for him.
He's not gonna say it, and it's gonna be hard for him to express it, but it does.
And Charles only had one word to describe how he felt.
Happy.
Charles's wife, Ruby Spratt, says that moments like this make her appreciate the little things.
In a time like this, especially with all of this COVID going on, it's good to have family support and be able to have family to give him some inspiration and give him some encouragement. It's just nice to have him and let him know that they love him and is supportive. So I'm just thankful for all the family that showed up and gave him this support. And he was just shocked. He had no idea that this was coming.
Charles just started his treatment 4 days ago, and his wife says he's doing well with the treatment so far.
Hurricane season is right around the corner. We've got a brand new WeatherWise when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. We're used to experiencing tornadoes, damaging wind, and flash flooding in this area. But in the summertime, we have to face another threat, hurricanes. In this week's WeatherWise, meteorologist Trevor Burchett explains what we can expect out of this year's hurricane season. Take a look.
All eyes will be on the tropics for the next few months as hurricane season officially starts this week. While we've already had our first tropical storm of the season, we have several months to go before we hit our peak in September. In fact, the official NOAA forecast says we should prepare for an above-average hurricane season. 13 to 19 named storms will be possible, with 10 of those being hurricanes. 3 to 6 storms could be major hurricanes, Category 3 or higher. Part of the reason for the above-average forecast is that sea surface temperatures are already well above average. Hurricanes feed off warm waters, and 75 degrees is usually plenty. However, most of the Gulf of Mexico is already over 80 degrees. Now, you think that maybe since we're so far inland, hurricanes and tropical storms don't affect us too much. And while that's true most of the time, depending on where a storm makes landfall, we can still see some impacts. The easterly side of a hurricane usually features extremely heavy rainfall, damaging wind, and tornadoes. And we can experience all of those right here in northeast Mississippi and West Alabama. Of course, there's no way to predict exactly which areas will be hit by a hurricane until a few days out, so it's a good idea to always be prepared. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on the tropics all summer long, and we'll keep you updated right here. Remember, if you want to know something about the weather, let us know, and you may see your question right here next week. For now, I'm meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
WeatherWise is brought to you by Fort County Electric Power Association. Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Well, as we're getting into that summertime pattern with those afternoon showers and storms, we want to remind you to download the free WCBI News app for Apple and Android. We've got all kind of weather information on here. You can get the latest forecast, video, and blog. You can also check out the live radar anytime you'd like. So if you've got any outdoor activities coming up, download this app. Again, it's completely free for Apple and Android, as you can track the storms on your own time and keep an eye on them if they're going to affect your location. You may need this app, as a matter of fact, coming up over the next several days. We've been dry for the last few days, but we are going to ramp up rain chances going into the middle portion of the week. We're going to get some more moisture back in here, and that's going to help some more of those afternoon showers and storms to start to pop up. Best chance is going to be Wednesday through Friday. Right now, next weekend is looking dry, but depending on what's going on in the tropics with a possible developing system, we might have to bump those rain chances up for next weekend. So next weekend, kind of a question mark right now. We're going to throw a 20% chance in just to be on the safe side and, of course, change those numbers over the next couple of days. The time lapse today in Columbus, no rain anywhere to be found. In fact, it's pretty hard to find a cloud out there on the Alpha Insurance camera network. But take a look at this sunset. As the sun set off to the west, we're looking off to the north. A beautiful kind of ombre wash sky, almost looks like a painting with the orange fading up to a blue. A beautiful night out there, and temperature is still pretty comfortable as we get into the 10 o'clock hour. We're looking at 70 right now in Columbus, 66 in Vernon. We're down to 69 in Tupelo and 65 out west in Coffeyville. And as a matter of fact, today, the last day of May, if you can believe it, feels like it went by in the blink of an eye, if you ask me. We're looking at 91 for our highest temperature. That was back on the 22nd and the 25th. Our lowest temperature for the month of May actually happened twice. It was 40 degrees on the 9th and the 10th. Our rainiest day not too long ago was the 26th. We picked up just over 1.25 inches of rain then. And for the first time in a while, we didn't pick up as much rain as we're supposed to in the month of May. We picked up just over 3 inches. The average for the month is about 4.25, so about 1 inch below what we normally see. I mentioned some trouble down in the tropics. This is what we're watching. This little disturbance here in the Bay of Campeche, just to the west of the Yucatan Peninsula. We're thinking this is going to try to spin up here in the next week or so and produce something down in the Gulf of Mexico. Depending on where it goes, we'll have to watch for some heavy rainfall in spots. Could go over to Texas, could go as far east as Florida. Depending on where it goes, we could actually get into some of that heavy rainfall. So we're going to keep an eye on this. National Hurricane Center has this at a 60% chance of becoming some sort of tropical system here in the next 5 days. Nothing to worry about tonight, though. 58 for the low. We're going to stay dry with just a few high passing clouds out there. Winds coming in from the north around 3 to 7 miles an hour. And tomorrow, we're going to be warmer, back up into the mid and upper 80s. Plenty of sunshine, though. A really nice day to kick off the week. But unfortunately, take a look at this. We're going to be comfortable tomorrow for the most part, but the muggies are going to return. We're going to be back into the humid category by the time we get into the middle and end of next week, and you're going to notice it. Also, take a look at this. As I mentioned, some chances for some isolated pop-up showers and storms going to continue. 91 for the high Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Again, next weekend looking dry right now. We're going to have to keep an eye on it depending on what happens in the tropics.
Coming up after the break, a sick survival kit that everyone should have in their home. Mom to Mom is next. Don't go anywhere. When it comes to being sick, it's always good to have a backup plan. This week on Mom to Mom, we provide some helpful tips should an illness suddenly hit. Take a look.
When your kid comes at you in the middle of the night saying they don't feel well, coughing and sneezing all over the place, will you be prepared? You will be after watching today on Mom to Mom. It never fails when your kids come at you in the middle of the night saying, I don't feel well. There's usually something you just don't have. That's why having a sick survival kit will help you get through those stressful, overwhelming nights where you don't have to go to the store. So the first thing that you're going to need is a bin to store it all in. Then one of my favorites is having grape juice on hand. I don't know if you know about this little hack or not, but if somebody gets a stomach bug, everyone in the family, if they chug this 3 times a day, it helps keep that stomach bug away. Some other things that we have here is Lysol, of course, Pedialyte, which is really good for those electrolytes. We've got some vitamin C. You want to stock up on vitamin C to make sure. We've also got chicken noodle soup. You know, that's the comfort food. We've got some applesauce because, you know, when you're sick, you just don't want to eat that much. There's also things in here to help with the nose. Of course, they have yucky running noses that helps wipe that away. We've got tea. We've got all kinds of really good stuff. So whatever works best for your family, you want to stock up on that so you have it ready to go for those sick days. So definitely make yourself a survival sickness kit, or you can actually send one to your friend that might be sick. Fill it with all the goodies, send it right over. And as always, moms, we'd love to hear those wonderful ideas. You can post them on our Facebook page, and we'll see you on the next Mom to Mom.
The Falcon 9 rocket is officially docked at the International Space Station. More on the historic trip when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. NASA and Elon Musk SpaceX Falcon 9 manned rocket docked at the International Space Station this morning, beginning a new era of commercial space flight. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry is at the Kennedy Space Center.
Dragon SpaceX docking sequence is complete.
2 NASA astronauts tucked inside the SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule made it to the International Space Station, marking a new era of space travel.
We have Bob Behnken from SpaceX Demo 2 mission entering the International Space Station, followed by Doug Hurley.
The Falcon 9 rocket blasted off Saturday afternoon from the Kennedy Space Center. It's the first time a private company, Elon Musk's SpaceX, has launched astronauts in a commercially built spacecraft. Veteran astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley took the 19-hour trip to the space station in the Crew Dragon capsule.
It is a real treat to watch a U.S. rocket take off from U.S. soil with NASA astronauts on board. It's a great feeling.
Weather conditions cleared as liftoff approached during the afternoon. A first attempt was scrubbed Wednesday due to threat of lightning. President Trump and Vice President Pence viewed the departure from the Space Center in Florida.
You feel the shake over here. It's pretty amazing. A beautiful sight, a beautiful ship, too.
Spectators lined up in nearby towns for front and center views. NASA had asked people to watch from home because of the coronavirus pandemic. The space agency retired the space shuttles in 2011. Since then, it has paid the Russian space agency to ferry U.S. astronauts to and from the International Space Station. Skylar Henry, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.
One idea behind the commercial space transport program is to use some of NASA's budget for the goal of returning astronauts to the moon and eventually landing on Mars. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Trevor is going to have a final look at weather.
Well, Cash, we told you this was last look, but surprise, it is not. We have a special day here today. It is Cash's birthday.
What?
And we had to get you a card that fit your personality. The biggest card we could find.
Well, that's true.
You know, very big personality in the newsroom.
I'm honestly genuinely shocked right now.
So we have your card here, and then everybody signed it, so that'll be a good little take home. And then we've also got plenty of cupcakes. What a perfect way to end out the weekend. So
I don't even know what to say. This is, I really thought we were about to dip out of the show.
Yeah, we had to tell them we were a little short on time, but surprise, we've got all the time in the world.
Amazing,
so
amazing.
Plenty of cupcakes, lots of snacking gonna go on here tonight.
I really thought you weren't gonna do anything, and I was kind of upset with you.
Yeah,
so.
But big happy birthday to you. Time to celebrate.
Well, thank you guys, and thank you all for watching. From all of us here at WCBI News, good night.